Hey everybody, and welcome back to Maximalist Workshop. I just wanted to make a quick video because I recently got the CFS Upgrade Kit installed on my Creality K1. The kit is also compatible with the K1C, but I decided to go ahead and give it a run for its money. I wanted to see what it can do on the original K1. And this is a machine that I've been working with for a long time, and it's worked well for me in the past. It's working well for me now. The CFS kit, as you can see, does seem to be doing color changes pretty well. Honestly, I usually don't have a lot of good things to say about the stuff that Creality designs, the stuff that Creality puts out, because they tend to not do as much QC as I'd like. They tend not to test as much as it seems like they should. But with this, it just seems to work well. As you can see, the filament cutter is cutting right now. Once the filament cutter is done cutting, then the filament will start to roll back up into the CFS. And this process has been pretty smooth. I mean, I had a few situations where I would start a print and on the first color change, it would say that the cutter is jammed, but the cutter wasn't ultimately jammed, so there wasn't really anything for me to do. I just restarted the machine, restarted the print, and it worked fine. It then goes over to where it's going to purge, and we see the filament is feeding down back to the extruder. That's our second color filament. I'm printing some pandas right now because everybody loves pandas. And it's just going to purge into that little waste bin in the back there. Now the Bamboo Lab machines, like the P1S, the X1C, but then just about every other printer that's been based on the P1S and X1C since then, has a poop chute, like a way for the material to get out of the printer in the back. That's not the case here, and it doesn't look like they put in the effort and the cost that it would take to like add something like that. You'd have to basically put a hole in the back of the machine, which would mean probably on a commercial scale just replacing the whole back of the machine, and that just doesn't make sense. So instead of what it does is it just purges into that little thing in the back there, that little hamper, and then that, as you can see, wipes the filament off of the nozzle and drops it then into the bottom of the machine. Now, this isn't an issue with smaller prints, and it's especially not an issue at the very beginning of prints, because I mean, there's not a lot of purge waste. I mean, I guess there's some, but compared to a Bamboo Lab with some of the longer prints, you see a lot of waste. So there's not too much. And with tuning, we can definitely get it down. With purge objects, we could definitely get it down. I bet if we did enough work, we could get it to almost zero. Of course, we're still going to have a prime tower if we want our prints to look as good as they can. But we can minimize the waste. The issue comes when you have a longer print and this stuff just really builds up. So you sort of have to keep an eye on it more than I'd normally like with a machine that should be doing a lot of this color change stuff automatically. But since the system does a good job of making sure that the filament stays down at the bottom there, I honestly can't complain too much. I mean, this whole thing that they've put together is pretty clever. I mean, let's open this up here and you can see at the bottom here, they've added a piece to block and cover the motor. They've added a piece here so that the filament coming down from the top won't get in here and really mess with your Z-rod there. They've also added these little pieces, which are pretty difficult to get on, but once they're on, they'll stay pretty well, and they don't seem to interfere with this at all. They do stop these pieces from getting into the Z-rods on the right and left, so that's also very nice. This like ejector that they made, I forget what they call it, a hopper, I guess. But the thing that ejects the filament from the print head is super cool. I really like that mechanism. I think it's very interesting what they've decided to put together with that. It's just cool engineering, and it's such a simple mechanism. There's one spring and then two plastic rigid pieces, and it just sort of fits together. And as you can see, it just runs smoothly. Overall, I really like this as an upgrade to the K1. I mean, they didn't really have to do this. Of course, they wanted to sell more CFS units, but if it was Anycubic, I think they would just come out with another printer. They would just say, you know what, we're gonna make the K2 and we're just gonna release that. Or we're gonna release the K2 Plus and we're gonna call it a day. We're not gonna make an upgrade kit that makes it so that the CFS works for it. And so I really appreciate Creality for that. It makes it so that a lot of their machines can still be put to use in the long term. And especially like as I start to do more multi-material, more multicolor stuff, it's gonna allow my printers, my K1s, which I have like a lot of at this point, because there are so many on the secondary market right now, it's gonna allow those to live on as I move to more multi-material stuff. So really cool. I hope other manufacturers, as they start to make new multi-material systems, even as we get stuff like the Index from Bondtech and the VVD from Big Tree Tech. Don't know why I blanked on that one. But until even after the BTT Vivid and all that stuff comes out, hopefully we'll be able to keep adding these new MMUs to our older machines. Yeah, anyway, that's about it. Thanks so much, everybody.